Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all well. Hope you're all staying safe on this time of need. This piece of wood is a piece that I had left over when I did a staircase. It's a part of a banister. It's oak in the middle here, but it's laminated with an oak veneer over the top. So I don't know how this is going to cope with being turned, but time will tell. My plan is to make a square lamp out of it. So what I want to do is turn a tenon on the bottom here so we can hold it in the chuck, and then I want to flip it and then bore down the middle, maybe, I don't know, maybe 2.5–3 inches, because then I'm going to mark out in the middle on all 4 sides, and I'm going to cut this out with my mortise machine. The reason being is because I want to keep the pillars in it, but I don't want to cut it, I want to leave it all as one piece. So like I say, clean it all out with the mortar machine, then I have to finish it off with a chisel. I've ordered the lamp holder. It's a small Edison screw lamp holder, so hopefully once that comes we can get that fitted in the bottom there. I'm going to be using the old classic style element bulb, which is more of a decorative bulb than a bright bulb. But I'm hoping, the reason I'm boring down the middle there is so if it does generate any heat, the heat will come out of the top and won't burn the wood. So that's the plan. So first things first, we'll get a tenon cut and then flip it and see how we go from there. So this is a trial. If it wins or fails, I'll put it up, but I'm hoping it'll be a good one. So anyway, let's get suited and booted, let's get cracking out. I'm going to be going through with several different size Forstner bits, basically because I don't want to put the stress, because it's only held in with a tenon, I don't want to be putting the stress through the piece all in one go, so I'm going to go up in stages and take it nice and slow. So could be a while, but I'll video a little bit of it and then I'll come back when it's done. Eventually got all the way down. I've gone down 220 millimeters, so it's brought me to about there, which is more than enough to get my bars in, give me a little bit of a shade and then a bit of a base, because I'm going to cut this off with a chop saw. So what I've got to try and do now is clean out the inside of that with a bit of sandpaper. I don't fancy having my fingers down there with the sandpaper, so what I'm going to do is I am going to move this out of the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a drum sander on a drill and just run it around there and get it down as far as I can. I haven't got to go all the way down because a lot of that is being cut out anyway, so it doesn't matter, and I can finish the inside once we get it all treated out. So I'll get a drum sander. What I'm going to use to clean this out is this. I'm not too keen about putting my fingers down there, so this will do. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw out the area I want to cut out with the mortise machine. So I drilled down 220 millimeters, so I'm going to go 5 mil past that, just so I cut a square tab out or a flat tab out when I drill down with the mortise machine, or drill it out with the mortise machine, should I say. So this will be my cut line where I'll cut it in, and then we're going to leave obviously a bar up. I'll mark all that out. So this is the style of bulb I'm using, and like I say, it's the old traditional style element bulb. So what I want to do is I want that big enough to see the bulb. I'm going to set the bulb holder in the base a little bit, so I don't need that actually miles up. So the bulb is going to be I'd say to about there. Put that back in the bag, because if not I'll only break it. So this is the bit we're cutting out. So now I need just to work out how big a leg I want. I reckon 15mm either side would be more than enough. So, if you can see that guy, you can just about see it. So all of this bit here, on all sides, is going to be taken out with the mortise machine. So what it should do, it should leave me just the 4 pillars on each corner to leave it fixed. And if you look here, the actual pillar is going to be quite thick, so it'd be nice and strong. So I'll get the mortise machine set up, and I will come back once I've got that set up and show you how I'm going to drill this out with the mortise machine. So I've got the mortise machine all set up now. Basically what the mortise machine is, if you don't know, you might know, so I apologise for the lecture if you do know. What it is basically a sharp chisel, square chisel, with a drill bit through the middle. So the idea is the drill bit drills through and the chisel cleans out. Obviously you have to go over it with a normal chisel just to clean it out, but you use it for morse and tenon door joints and things like that. So that's what it's traditionally used for, but I'm going to use it for cutting through this. So I've got this marked out now, so I'm going to cut this one out. I'm going to show you the whole process. I'll show you how I do it, and then obviously we'll jump through to when that's done. So here we go. So progress so far, cut out. What I've done is I've put some rounds over here because I think that'll look a bit better if that's sort of rounded off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get back in the workshop and I'm going to get the rotary tool out and clean all these up, sand all these down and carve that out with a rotary tool. That'll be a bit easier than trying to cut it out. So I'm just going to spend a bit of time cleaning it all up now. So let's get back in the workshop in the wall. So right, what I've got so far, so I've cut that bit out and then sanded it. So I'm going to spend a bit of time sanding all these edges up and this base and the top, so get it nice and smooth. So I'm going to use the small rotary tool with a sanding bit in it just so I can get in, clean most of it, and I might just have to get a small piece just to get in some of these corners. But yeah, this is going to take a while, so let's get sanding. Don't forget your mask, because you don't want dust on your lungs. So I'll see you guys on the other side. was fun. So just a bit of hand sanding now, and it should be ready to rock and roll. I've curved inside the posts, just basically so you ain't got no sharp corners when the light shines on them. So I'll get some sandpaper and I'll hand sand the inside, and then we can get it back in the lathe and get the hole drilled through the middle. I'm going to put a hole big enough for the lamp holder, because I don't want to see a lot of the lamp holder, so I'm going to recess it inside there, just so there's about, I don't know, 5-10 mil sticking at the top, and then the bulb should sit nicely in there. And then obviously I'm hoping I can get the bulb through the side, but if not I'll have to thread it through the top, and then as long as I can get my fingers on it to nip it up, it should be okay. And then what I'll do is I'll drill through the side to feed the cable through for the power. So I'll get some sandpaper, we'll get this hand sanded, and then we'll get it back in the lathe. Well, at last the bit I was waiting for turned up, so we can get this back together now. So what I've done off camera is I cut a base plate to fit into there to cover all that up. I've drilled a hole through the bottom of this to screw this inside, and I've also drilled a hole at an angle for the wire to come through. So I've got the wire here, so I'm going to thread the wire through, and we'll get the light fitting connected, and then we can think about assembling it back together and getting it working, which will be absolutely great, because it took longer for the bits to come than I expected, but never mind, it doesn't matter, they're here now. So that's the bulb holder in. Now I made this piece to go in here and cover the bit of the bad flooring that we had. So I couldn't quite get it 100%. And then the bulb should, I broke the bulb. It's a good job I ordered a pack of 6. Or had a pack of 6, shall I say. So the bulb should sit in there like that. That's the plan. So because I've got these gaps around here, I decided to just give it a bit of decorative by putting some, this is oak, so I've just cut some little oak strips by just putting some little oak strips around the outside. And because that's the back, obviously, I thought I don't know, I'm not going to put one around the back because it's not worth it. So I thought I'd just glue that one onto there, and then bring one in the side, one in the side, and then we'll just trim them off once they're all dry. I don't know if to super glue them on or whether to glue them on with wood glue. I think I might super glue them on, to be honest. That will be just as good, I believe. Yeah, I'll super glue them on. So I'll get some super glue, and then we'll just super glue that onto there. So I'm going to lay it down, make it life a little bit easier actually. Stand up, I suppose. I'm just going to run a bead of super glue along this edge. Spray this. And then I'm just going to stick that. And all that does is just cover that manky edge up then. I think I'm going to give it its, I don't know whether to wax it or whether to give it a coat of something else. I'm not sure yet. I haven't really thought that far ahead, to be honest. So stick that one in there. So I've done all the electrics. I've done them off of camera because I don't want people copying and electrocuting themselves. So that's why I did them off camera. So we've got a switch on now, and I've got a 13 amp plug on, and I've got about, I don't know, 2 meters of cable, so it should be more than enough to get to where the plug socket's going to go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually spend a bit of time, well, it's actually not too bad, but I'm just going to spend a little bit of time sanding this up to 400 grit, and then I'm going to give it a little bit of stain. I think I've got some oak stain. I'm just going to sort of paint on it to give it a little bit better look, really. I'll just move this up so you can see a little bit better. That's better. So yeah, I'm just going to give a little bit of a coat. I'm going to do, I did sand and seal inside there, so I don't know whether that'll take to that, but I'm going to do the pillars, this bed, this, and obviously this on the outside. I'm going to do that in a like a light oak stain, just to make it look a little bit better. So yeah, so we'll get the stain out and give it a coat. I like it. It looks quite cool. It's quite funky looking. It's just unusual shape. So let's break the stain out. It's all done. Got there in the end. I've really enjoyed doing this. It's been something different. It's been a bit of a break from the bowls and other bits and bobs. So I had this idea the other week when I found this part of Newel post in the rack. The Newel post came from a job I done a few years ago, and it was an offcut. Obviously I brought home to burn, but stuck it in the rack, and I found it the other day. It's an oak veneered Newel post, so it's got a nice, I think there's about 2mm veneer over the top of it, but we've given it a coat of English light oak stain to obviously try and match in, because the inside was a little bit lighter and the bit of ply I put on the base was a little bit lighter, so that's just sort of matched in a little bit. So it's looking really, really good, and I'm really pleased how it's turned out. As you saw, we started off with the main piece, and I turned out down the middle all the way down to here. Then we cut it out with the mortise machine to give me a square shape, but I'm so glad that I made the decision to round these off, because it just sort of gives it the definition of the bulb as well, so it just sort of sets it off a little bit. Then we inset the light fitting in the bottom. I screwed through and fixed it with a button 10mm M10 button bolt, or screw, whatever you want to call it. I had to re-thread the bottom of the light fitting because it was an imperial size and I ain't got no bolts to fit that, so I re-threaded that. I did that off camera, to be honest. And then obviously we wired it, which I did off of camera as well, because I don't want people blowing themselves up and saying that's how they saw me do it. So like I've always said, if you're not sure with electrics, then stay away. Get someone who's competent to do it for you. So we wired it with a switch, a rocker switch on it, so we've got on and off, and then just 2.5 meters of cable, lamp cable, which I believe is 0.75 cable, into a 13 amp 3-pin plug. Easy. So yes, that's it, and I really have enjoyed doing this. It's been cool. The only thing I may do, I may put some felt on the bottom here, just so if it's standing on something it doesn't scratch, because obviously oak is a hard material and we don't want it scratching the surfaces on. But other than that, I've really enjoyed doing this. So anyway guys, I hope you've liked it, and if you have, then please smash that like and share button. Yeah, nothing else to say really. I've really enjoyed it. It's been nice. It's been nice for a change, and it's been nice to use some of the carpentry skills I haven't used for a few weeks, so it's been nice. So anyway guys, have a great weekend. Speak to you soon. Take care, and bye for now. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for making it to the end. There may be a couple of videos down below that you might be interested in. If you do, pop over and check them out. Also, if you're a subscriber to the channel, then thank you very much for your continuous support. And if you're not a subscriber to the channel, then pop over and click this link here to subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to hit the bell notification to be notified for all my latest uploads. So anyway guys, take care, speak to you soon.